We get one professional debut. What are your hopes and expectations for March 7th?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited for my debut on the 7th of March. Again, it's going to be another historical female boxing show taking place in the Albert Hall. Never mentioned Albert Hall, so I'm actually excited. She'll be sharing the ring with amazing role model like Lauren Price and Jonas and many other female in the game. It's amazing, and I'm ready to get the game rolling and to get as many experience as possible throughout my professional journey. I'm excited.
Was it an easy decision to decide to turn professional now?
No, actually it wasn't, because before the build-up of the Olympic and the qualifier, I had my eyes on turning pro. But my main goal, ever since I started boxing, was to go to the Olympic, and I had to get that out of the way first of all. And then I had an amazing experience even after the Olympic, and so much support and so much praises, and hopefully in the pro, I can, hopefully my pro journey, I can get as much support as possible, and also learn through the barriers of experienced female boxer in the game already.
Yeah, it's an easy question that we ask every debutant. You know, what are your hopes and expectations from the professional game? If you were going to set yourself a ceiling and a baseline of achievements, what is the minimum that you want to get out of this sport? Is it world titles and everything that comes with it?
100%. I think for every boxer out there, every fighter, you want to set yourself high goals and aims, and I want to get myself in the ring with the most experienced female boxer out there, and hopefully go for any world title as possible. I'm a fighter and I'm a boxer. At the end of the day, I can learn through any type of style as possible. So my main always has always been, I set myself goal and aims, and this is just another goal that I've set myself, which is to turn pro and to get busy as possible as I can.
I'll just bring in Ben Shalom. I didn't get a chance to ask you about Cindy and Gamba, but presumably you've all heard the same as us. You know, the boxing grapevine, and anybody that's been up at the EIS or anybody that watched Cindy's run through the Olympics know how good she is. What are your thoughts on her turning pro?
Yeah, first of all, incredibly proud to see her up here now. I said to Rob McCracken, I think last year I said she's the one. She is the one that has the potential. She's the one that we want. Phenomenal performance in Paris. I think, you know, grabbed the hearts of the nation, and so to see what she can go and achieve now in a professional career should be phenomenal. I think Lauren Price, Natasha Jonas, even Caroline Dubois, and what they've gone on to achieve since the Olympic Games has been unbelievable, and I think Cindy's going to have a similar trajectory. So amazing for her to be here, amazing for this to be her debut as well at the Royal Albert Hall. It sets up what should be a great career ahead.
Let's move on to the next fight on the card, which I have to be honest, I think it's been made pretty quickly because it's caught everybody out. Usually nothing is secret in the boxing world. You only have to go on social media and you'll probably find some degrees of the truth. But Karis Artingstall and Raven Chapman, welcome to both of you. I didn't believe it until I saw it, but you're both here now, and it is great to have you both. Raven, I'll probably come to you first if you don't mind. What an opportunity for you. I don't think anybody would have blamed you if you went back to the drawing board and perhaps took a softer route back and rebounded after the Sky Nicholson defeat, but straight into a big fight like this against Karis Artingstall. What does that say about your motivations and your ambitions?
Yeah, I'm super motivated. Obviously, we always said we don't want an easy route. You know, we don't want easy fights. It's always been about meaningful fights and proving ourselves at the top, and that's exactly why we agreed to this fight as well. You know, we said after Saudi that we didn't want to go back any levels. We didn't feel like we needed to, and we got this opportunity. So thanks to Ben for creating that opportunity and giving us the chance to take this fight. And I think it's a fight that a lot of people have wanted to see. Both Karis and I have wanted this fight for a while, and timing's just worked out pretty well for it, and I think it's a really exciting fight to make, and like I say, it's a fight a lot of people have wanted for a while.
Have you been able to process what happened out in Saudi Arabia? I don't want to dwell on it, and with a number of things like that, you can take positives in defeat, and you know what you've got to work on now, but have you been able to come to terms with it and be at peace with it?
Yeah, 100%. I'm quite stoic mentally. person won on the day, but that's boxing, you know. You have a fight date and you need to hope that on that day you're the best version of yourself, and so we learned a lot, and it was such a big event. Probably underestimated just how big the event was as well, and there was a lot going on in the week, and it was a lot to take in, but at the same time it was such an experience, and so we definitely learned a lot from it. And it's one of them cliches, isn't it? You can learn more from a loss than a win, and I think that's definitely something that we had to address as a team in after that fight as well, and that's why it was sort of agreed that we don't want to take any step backwards, we don't want to take an easy fight and work our way back up there. Let's just go full steam ahead, and yeah, that's why we wanted this fight.
Well, welcome back and welcome to the card. We're looking forward to it. Karis, great to have you back as well. It's been a while, been out for over a year now, so you must be chomping at the bit and delighted to be back and straight in again in a big fight when perhaps you could have taken a little warm-up fight and nobody probably would have batted an eyelid, but how excited are you to be back, especially against a fighter of the quality of Raven Chapman?
Yeah, I'm chuffed to be back, and like, I'm not getting any younger, and time waits for nobody. Raven's a decent name, and I just want to be the best in my weight division. So I think I need a fight like Raven. She's got like quite a high profile. She's been in with the top girls. Her last fight was Sky Nicholson. So I think a win over Raven puts me straight back in the mix with the top girls and potentially knocking on the door for world titles this year.
Does it help or hinder when you know your opponent pretty well? Because I think you two have spent some time together on the amateur circuit and have shared a ring before. Does that help or does that hinder?
I think it's irrelevant in a way. We boxed each other about 5 years ago, something like that. We've spent rounds with each other up on the GB setup. We know each other quite well. Yes, there's been like short bay windows in between them interactions we've had, and improvements have been made, things have tweaked, whatever, but we know each other quite well. We pretty much know what to expect of one another, I believe. I think it's irrelevant. On the day, I believe I turn up the better fighter and I get the win.
I think those of us that have seen both your professional careers, and people behind the scenes might put us straight, but feel like this is going to be a really good clash of styles, that entertainment-wise, this one should make for a really good TV.
Yeah, it could do. Like, I'm just going to adapt to whatever's in front of me on the night. If I need to box my way through the 10 rounds, so be it, I will. I'll do whatever it takes on the night to get the win, because that's the most important thing to me on the night, just to get the win so I can move forward with my career.
Well, brilliant. It's great to have you both on the card, and we really do look forward to that terrific undercard matchup. Moving on to Caroline Dubois, who sat in front of me now. I mean, Caroline, what can we say that hasn't already been said? I mean, it was a strange dynamic last time out. I think we all talk about it as if it was a victory, just because of the manner of it. What is your reflections on last time out against Jessica Kamara?
Yeah, for myself, I always feel going into a fight that, from my takeaway, is to go out there and do the best that I can do. Whatever comes from that, you know, it's not up to me. I felt like I went out there, did the best that I could do. 2 rounds, you know, it was a whitewash, I think. You know, I showed my levels, I showed the standard that I'm at, I showed that, you know, I believe that I'm the best 135, and that performance put it out there that I am, and it's on to the next one.
Yeah, what about the future and the year ahead? You make no secret, every single time we put the questions to you, put the names to you, and you just, you know, every single time bat them away, say line them up, titles, big fights, that's all I want. What are your hopes and expectations for 2025?
For me, the biggest goal for me right now is to be undisputed, and I feel like it can happen right now. This year is a breakout year for me, and I think the goal, the aim, the ambition is to be undisputed.
What about boxing at the Royal Albert Hall? You're still so young in terms of your professional development, but to be part of a card like this, you know, you must be looking at this and thinking, you know, before too long, I hope to headline shows of this sort of quality of my own at the top of the bill.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago that I was at the O2 Arena, and it was a real pinch me moment being there, seeing the likes of Clester Shields, Savannah Marshall, Michaela Mayer. You know, I first watched, you know, these girls when I was 11, at Tokyo 2012 Olympics, and then at Rio Olympics, and now I'm on the card with them. And now again we've got another all-female show, and again I'm on the card, and now I've got a higher spot, higher position. I'm here with 2 belts beside me, you know, I'm excited. I can't wait. I feel like I'm on a great momentum, on a great trajectory, and I know it's only going to get better from here.
There's that great picture at ringside of all of your team sort of holding their heads and looking pretty squeamish about your performance last time out, just about how sort of violent and ruthless it was in a number of ways. But is the best still yet to come? Shane McGuinn was very quick to point out, like, we haven't really scratched the surface yet. Do you subscribe to that opinion as well, that there is still more to come?
100%. I feel like a lot of fighters have the same mentality, that it's the person in front of you that brings out the best performance, you know. You've seen it time and time again. You get with someone who's a bit scrappy, and for some reason it brings you down a notch. But when you get with someone who's got good shape, good hands, that's when you bring the best out of yourself. And Jessica, she did what she had to do. But I was miles levels above her, and I can't wait to get in with the ring with somebody who's as close as they can be on my level.
Well, I mean, it's great to hear you speaking so confidently. We look forward to the next instalment, because I'm sure it's going to be entertaining. Benchon, before I move on to the main event, just to wrap up the whole undercard there, great to have Karis in against Raven, but also Caroline Dubois. That was pretty violent stuff last time out, but perhaps we shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and as I say, 2 more big announcements to add. What I'll say about Caroline is the biggest compliment I can pay is we all love women's boxing. There's still a few people that don't, and they're the ones coming up to me and saying that they've been converted, and that's because of Caroline Dubois. And to have her now at 24 years old, at the start of her career, already having that sort of impact in the sport, it's going to be unbelievable to see what she can do over the next decade. I truly believe she's going to change the face of the sport, and yeah, so excited to be at the start of the journey.
Yeah, it's great. It's forms part of this terrific undercard, this unstoppable undercard. But let's move on to the main event. I think I speak for both main event fighters when I say I think we thought this was going to be a big night. I think we thought that the attention would be there, but I think even those of us that have been here a number of years now, it's been quite a trajectory, and there's been so many eyeballs and cameras on this fight already. Let's just remind ourselves of some of the media coverage of how this fight was made.
Nights like this is incredible for women's sport.
When I'm on sure someone, an all-female squad, we don't get back that O2 Arena rather than
The headline of the bill. What more can you ask for?
Prices. Somebody who's won absolutely everything as an amateur. I think she's just going to get better and better.
Yeah, I think it's been amazing. The fight, the reception, the media coverage, it's all been brilliant. But it is now time to hear from the fighters themselves. I think everybody's had enough of me talking. I'll come straight to you, Lauren Price. Someone that's been there, seen it, done it as an amateur. I wonder how this compares now. Royal Albert Hall, when I list again some of those names that have boxed there, to fight Tasha Jonas at an iconic, historic venue like this, how does that compare to sort of some of the things you've already achieved?
Yeah, I mean, the 7th of March, I've just been in our Royal Albert Hall, and it's giving me goosebumps just looking at it now. So walking out in a fight, an all British clash, it's going to be up there, you know, with winning that Olympic gold medal, definitely.
Have you been surprised, or is this all water off a duck's back? You know, the attention around this fight is really ramping up into a big fight. I think we internally at Sky and Boxer thought it would be a big fight, but the reception has been pretty incredible. Would you concede that you have been surprised, or is this all just a walk in the park for you?
No, I have been surprised, to be honest. Even on, you know, ticket sales, it's blown at the park, and not even just, you know, I bang on about me being Welsh and being proud, but I'm British. I'm proud to be British, and I got fans from all over who's reaching out to me: English fans, Scottish fans, Irish fans, and yeah, it's just gone to show, you know, how big it's going to be, and I'm excited and I'm proud to be part. You know, headlining, I was lucky enough to be on the all-female card with Marshall and Shields in my second pro fight. So to be headlining now in an all-British clash, then yeah, it's a great honour and I'm proud to be part of it.
Stay there, don't go anywhere, because we're going to talk about the fight itself. But Tasha, I just want to sort of echo those sentiments. You didn't get to box on the Shields Marshall card just because of the way the calendar fell. So now, fast forward, a couple of years, and you're topping the bill at the Royal Albert Hall, another historic night. It's kind of come full circle. You do get your flowers now.
Yeah, I think there was a fight a week or two before in Liverpool. I think with Liam
Smith was headlining, and it just made sense at the time. But then I remember getting to the Shields Marshal in my little Sky get up and thinking, ooh, I wish I was here. So yeah, to be able to have my own, be headlining the Royal Albert Hall, you know, first time ever for females is a big occasion, and I think the fans appreciate the fight as well.
Yeah. Have you been in the venue yet? Have you ever seen a show there, or has this been the first time you've been in there?
No, I've been there to see one of the shows with my little girl, and it's an amazing venue inside. I've never seen it for the boxing thingy, but hopefully I'll get a sneak peek before I leave today.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think Cirque du Slayer in there wouldn't let us in earlier, but it's another story. Let me bring in the training teams before we come back to the fighters. Rob McCracken, CB, great to see you. You've got an interesting dynamic in this fight because obviously with your role up at the EIS, you've seen both fighters come through that setup. So it is a bit of a different dynamic. The fact that Tasha was the first female to box in the Olympics for Team GB is pretty special, and it's kind of come full circle.
Yeah, Natasha was on the programme for a good while. I know her fairly well. She's a really nice person. We had a chat outside just before with Joe as well. I've known Joe as long as I've known Natasha, to be honest. It's the best against the best, isn't it? That's what everybody's in professional boxing for. You saw it recently with Galawi fight after 9 fights, fighting somebody who was, you know, ranked #1 in the world. You've got to challenge yourself in this sport, and you've got to move as quickly as you can, in my opinion, once you're up to speed and you've got that experience, and that's what we're doing with Lauren, and Lauren's happy to do that. Natasha and Lauren, I feel, are the two best boxers at the weight in the world. So it's just boxing, and it's just a fantastic fight, fantastic matchup. They're both British, so it should be brilliant for female boxing as well.
Someone said to me earlier, the problem with you guys is you just don't know how good these Olympians are that come out of that cycle and the EIS, and I think put Lauren in that bracket that perhaps we didn't quite know, but now we do. How happy have you been with her transition from an amateur to a professional? Yeah,
the first couple of fights was, you know, like a little bit nervous for Lauren. It's a different sport, isn't it? And it just is. But she's adapted really quick. Once she had 2 bouts under her belt, she sort of had the hang of it, and then she's become very confident. When fighters become very confident, you can push them on and work with them, and they understand what you need from them. But yeah, look, Lauren Price has been a phenomenal athlete, like Natasha was when she was on the programme. You know, I've already said it, that the best should fight the best in professional boxing, and certainly, you know, Lauren and Natasha, what they've achieved in their careers, and what Lauren's got ahead of her, and what Natasha's still got ahead of her, and what she's already achieved is phenomenal for both of them. But no point being in boxing if you're not going to fight the best, and Lauren's happy to challenge herself against the best, and Natasha's happy to take up the challenge. So it couldn't get any better and more exciting, and the Albert Hall as well is probably the best venue in boxing. I was lucky to box there once or twice, so everyone's looking forward to it. It'll be a massive night for boxing. And I think the 6 or 7 females that are on, you know, that have worked with me in the past on the GB programme. It's great to see Savannah Marshall earlier on today, and all the rest of them I've seen them a few times. I've seen Caroline a few times recently as well, because she's always knocking people about in Sheffield.
Yeah, I bet they've probably got a way that you probably can't tell us any of their secrets, to be honest. But great to have you up here. I mean, one thing I don't think this fight perhaps needs is you know, people doing it down and trainers doing it down. I think it speaks for itself, the fight. Joe Gallagher, I want to bring you in. There's quite a nice sort of junction there, like Rob talking about the transition that Lauren made from the amateurs to the pros, 2 very different sports. It seems like on your side of the table, Tasha made a real smooth transition, and I just wonder if she's achieved everything that you thought she would achieve in the pros.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Sky Sports, Ben Shalom, Boxer, you and everyone for turning up today, and also for, like Robert, was similar age, but I don't think neither of us years ago when we used to be down there at Lennox Lewis's College in London would be sat here on a top table full of female fighters. That shows you how far female boxing's come in British boxing. Been very fortunate with Natasha, who had an unbelievable amateur career, then at a late age decided she wanted to turn professional. Yeah, who would have thought we'd be sat here today? I think a year ago today, nearly to the day, she promised me, and in the ring to you, Andy, that 2024 was the last year. And a year later, we're sat here, headline, top of the table again, and there's no denying the girls' ambition, desire, and point to prove. I feel it's a touch of deja vu a little bit here today, and we've been here before. We feel, especially with the Terry Harper fight, poor Natasha, Terry too much, too young, and I feel the echoes and what people are assuming here, a passing of the guard, a changing of the guard, but that's not going to happen. We've been here before and we're going to do it again. And Natasha, Jonas, just wanted to touch before you move on, at 40 years of age, soon to be 41, still show the desire and the will to test herself. Like Rob said, these girls want to test themselves against the best in the world. And Natasha has already said, not overlooking someone, but she still wants a Maya fight, she still wants a Katie Taylor fight, and that just shows the desire of her, and what a shining example of her and Katie Taylor have been for female boxing since 2012.
Well, I wasn't going to move on, I was going to come back to you just to say, I do know you, and I know Tasha as well. I would just wonder actually though, if that champs camp mentality, actually this is when you're all at your best, when people are writing you off, and that sort of siege mentality that you can instill in your fighters, if that's not always a bad thing.
I just don't think it's necessarily a siege mentality. I think it's just a case that's how we like it, and it's like anything. When I'm sure, like when Rob and other trainers in the room, when they sit down with fighters, they've got to click with them, and it suits the mentality, the personality. And I've been quite fortunate that the fighters that I've worked with in the past over the years have had that same type of mentality. They've come to me, they've been written off, and they've come back and they've proved everyone wrong. And Natasha's sitting here today as a two-weight unified world champion. I hope and prayed that she was going to retire, but she isn't. She's took the challenge, and she's going to take it and come out on March the 7th as the victor. Just to touch on the Royal Albert Hall, what you said, the names that have boxed there, I've not been there myself. It'll be a proud moment for myself to walk out with Natasha, and also to have a fight in that venue. When you said the likes of people like Henry Cooper have boxed there, the Craze, all three brothers fought there, Pereira, Lewis, Bruno. It's some facility and some venue, and what a night it's going to be. Really looking forward to it, and I've done enough talking now.
I don't know, it was all good though, well done. I'm going to bounce off that straight to Tasha though. You know, that last dance in 2024, well, we're still dancing now. I do wonder, like, boxing is about timing, and I think what Joe's alluding to there is a lot of people, it's either one or two things. It's either too soon for Lauren Price, who is making waves as a pro, but it's still early days, or it's too late for you, you've had your time and the baton's going to pass. I wonder how that sits with you when you hear that.
The pressure's not on me. You know, Lauren's the champion who's never lost a round, the Olympic gold medalist, and there's a lot of pressure on her to come and do what she says she can do. So yeah, the underdog suits me. I've been here before, it's not something that's new. And yeah, I would come out shining, so.
It's also something you don't fear, the fact you touched on it there, you know, barely lost a minute as a pro, I don't think. I think, you know, what lights a fire under you is challenges in first. That's a fact, isn't it? That, you know, the first to do this, the first to do that.
100%. I love being the first, and the first is something that nobody can take away. But yeah, like I say, I've been here before, and you've got to be careful what you wish for.
Lauren, this is your chance to say why she's wrong, Natasha Jonas. That it is your time, that it isn't too soon, that it is the passing of the torch to you.
Yeah, I mean, take age out of it. I just think, you know, I know I'm better in all areas. I back myself. You know, my accolades speak for themselves. I know I'm still, you know, fresh into the pro game. I've had 8 pro fights, but each fight I've stepped up. I will admit, yeah, Tasha is my toughest test, but I believe she brings another level of my game out, and I rise again. And yeah, I've always had pressure on me, you know, from the amateur days, going to the Olympics, expecting to win gold, but going to do that and walking out to an Olympic final, you know, it doesn't get much bigger than that. And with pressure comes diamonds, and I will be coming out on March the 7th as the winner and taking them belts back to Wales.
What was the message that you gave us in the ring on the night of collision, of course, that you were too young, too fast, too strong? Why, just expand on that, why you believe that to be the case?
Because I do it. I believe, you know.
Sorry, Eddie, I'll call you back.
Katie, no, it's too late. Katie's gone. Sorry, babe.
Sorry, Lauren, as you were saying.
Yeah, no, I stick by it. I believe in myself, like Tash believes in herself. But I do believe that the right time is now, you know. A lot of people wrote me off against McCaskill in Cardiff on May the 11th. And like I said, I haven't lost a round and I was quite comfortable in it. I do believe she is a tougher test, like I've said. But I still think, you know, I come through with flying colours.
I'm going to invite both of you just to give a final message before we leave you to your training camps. I think there's been a lot of talking. There's been a bit of spite in some of it. Maybe today we're not going to get that out of the two of you. Tasha, yeah, just
sorry.
No, I mean, it is just a chance just for a final message to each other. You say you're the underdog. You say that perhaps people are overlooking what you've already achieved in the sport, that it isn't your time to go. What is your final message to Lauren Price?
I decide when it's time, and just be careful what you wish for. Have a great camp, and I'll see you on March the 7th.
Your response on your chance to give. Tasha's saying there, she will decide on her own terms. It's not for you to do that.
Yeah, that's up to her. But like I said before, have a good camp, and yeah, I'll see you on March 7th, and that's it. I mean, we've done all the talking, we don't need to talk anymore. It's a great fight, and it's sold itself. So I look forward to it.
I'll finish with you, Benchlon. It has got all the hallmarks of a great British rivalry, okay? It's not Shields Marshall, it's not got that venom, but there is enough here. We've already seen them sort of lock horns at collision course night, where I think we're all taken aback. It's got all of the ingredients that you could wish for.
Yeah, look, when there's this much on the line, you're going to get an edge, and we've got one. It's two great competitors, two people I feel honoured to be part of and to represent. Natasha Jonas, for me, is a true British boxing legend. She was a boxing legend before I met her. She's then gone on to become a multi-weight world champion. So for her to be headlining the Albert Hall is just another thing to a wonderful career that looks to go on. And Lauren Price has got everything to prove. The gold medalist, the MBE, never lost a round. Just achieved things that no one else achieved in the amateur sport. She'll want to replicate that now in the professional sport. And yeah, it's a truly, truly great fight. Final tickets at boxer.com. Two huge announcements to make this week. It's going to be a phenomenal night for the sport, and yeah, I can't wait.
Well, thank you very much for coming out today. We're going to pose for head-to-heads. All fights will be available for one-on-ones. We're just going to take a minute or so just to break the tables. Thank you again. While we let that commence, I'll hand back over to Big Mo, but thank you all for coming and wait around for these head-to-heads.